In part 5 of creating the stack proportional circular area chart, what we want to do here is build an animation on this borderline here. So we have this borderline, and if you look very carefully here, you see it's slightly clipped off. And then if I would remove here the legend, we probably would get the same effect as well. So let me show you. Let's remove the legend. Go and scroll down here. And in the options here, you can say plugins. And then what I want to do here, comma, we say legend. Let's say here display equals false. Save, refresh. So if you're very sensitive and pixel perfect, I am very pixel perfect on that, and I look at all the details, you can see this is what I want to avoid. So how do we solve this issue here? Well, first of all, let's create or assign a proper border for this, because right now we just draw the stroke with the colors not even matching. So let's get those. So we're going to say ctx dot, and then we're going to say stroke style equals data dot data sets index, and then we can say here border color. And what we have to do, and this is very important, you have to check your data. Do you have an array, or do you do it without the array? That's also possible, but then just a singular color. Whatever you do, be consistent with every of your data sets, or else this will not work, of course. So the data must be a consistent structure. So we say here border color index 0. If I save this right now, refresh, you can see here now the items has the matching color. So that starts to look quite nice. So what I want to do next, of course, is giving it a width. So what I can do is, instead of doing it here in this for each loop, I want to do it outside, because it's just a variable or a constant that's being used only once, so we don't need to do a multiple loop on that. So I'm going to remove all of this as well, so we clear that up. And then I'm going to say a constant, and we can say here line width equals, and I'm going to say here ctx dot line width width equals 2 pixels. So basically it's ctx like line width 2 pixels, but I make it a variable as well, or a constant variable. So if I save that, we have that here. That looks nice, and as you can see here, it's like clipping off. But because we have this variable here, we need to recalculate the outer radius. Our outer radius is minus up and down about a half pixel. But this is 2 pixels, so what we could do here is our outer radius minus whatever the line width is, but the line width here and down needs to be divided by 2 basically. So we can say here divide by 2. So you make it 1 pixel smaller up, 1 pixel smaller down basically. If I save this, refresh, you can see here now we get this nice non-clipped off item. Alright, sorry, that's just a small tiny detail, but that can be very important. So what we want to do next is understanding how can we get this rotation here. So to do the rotation, we need to work with basically with translate. And translate, I'm going to say ctx.translate. This here is very important for us, because this here allows us to change the standard coordinates from whatever we have into the new coordinates that we're going to assign. So what I want to do is, I want to get the x center and then the y center assigned. When I do this, the x and y center, which is depending on our shape where we are, will be then considered the 0 position. This would be the 0 position for the green one, and then here for the red one, and I guess for the blue one. Let me just remove this hover background colors for now, so you will understand the logic. Save, refresh. Oh, alright. Of course, immediately it becomes a trigger, and then we need to solve that. Let me just save this first, refresh. Alright, so I want to grab here the center, which is basically this point here where the swiping happens. Same here for there, and then here for the green one. So that will be basically now the new standard 0, 0 coordinate. Because what I want to do is I want to draw, when I draw this border, I want to be able to rotate this 90 degrees. Because look at it. Right now it is not like that. And well, let's start to do it. So if I do this, what will happen now, this becomes the 0 point, so this must be in 0, 0, because that is equal to that. I hope you understand this. So if I refresh, well, what happens here is, of course, I need to make sure we restore the item. So I'm going to say here, ctx.restore to undo whatever we did above. And then once we did that, let's see, do I have a save? I forgot the ctx save, so that's a nice one to see here. I'm going to say ctx.save to save all variables above by default. There we are. Now you might wonder, why is this then sticking out there? Because what I need to do is, besides the restore, because this animation is looping through this multiple times, I need to undo whatever I did. So I'm going to put that in here. And our undo rotation is basically this. We're going to say ctx dot, or undo the translate. That's the one I want to do first. Whatever we have here, let's put this back by putting a negative value on it. If I save that, refresh, now it works. Alright, so what I want to do is now to get the swipe effect. So to get the swipe effect, what we have to do here is, in the arc, when we draw this, we need to have here, let's see, probably, let me double check. Well, what we need is this one. Sorry, I was just looking, our ending angle. Because what we're really having here is a rotation that keeps on being redrawn. And for getting the ending angle, I'm going to say a constant, or let's say give you a console log. And in this console log, we're going to say here, chart.getDataSetMeta, index 0, and then we're going to say data.x, or in this case, is index 0, and then x, well, we can go even to the circumference, but let me just show you this. Open up the developer tab, go into the arc, and then we get here the circumference, and the circumference is the animation, or the value that creates the animation and tracks the circle. This information will be very important. In the next video, we're going to start making the animated border.